it going? Welcome to NoDQ Live here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel, youtube.com/AaronRiftNoDQ. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's videos, NoDQ Live on Monday and Tuesday from last week. This week, hopefully I can provide an entertaining video for you guys. To be totally honest with you all, I was not blown away by this week's Raw. Maybe I'm not alone in this feeling. Let me know what you guys thought about Raw. Did you enjoy the show? Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Leave a comment. Steve says Raw was trash, my God. Braden says Raw was so bad, shaking my head. James says Raw was boring. Tony H says I turned off Raw a half hour into it. Mike D says it was boring as hell. So yeah, a lot of comments here seem to be agreeing with me that Raw was not really up to par. Although our moderator here, TJS, says I liked it better than last week. So there you go. The big problem I had with this show was Roman Reigns. I thought the Roman Reigns stuff was really boring. I think boring is the best way to describe it. Roman Reigns came out to open Raw, and I thought it was like the most robotic promo that a main event guy could possibly do. Roman Reigns felt like a guy reciting his script. It was very robotic, very monotone, and I thought it was awful, to be quite honest with you guys. I did not like the Roman Reigns promo. Wasn't a fan of it. I was already falling asleep the first segment on Raw. And it's very typical. It's this typical storyline. Roman Reigns, the babyface, the conquering hero. He's the new U.S. champion. And we already have Master Gordon with a $2 donation. Here, have some money. Thank you. I'll take it. I appreciate it, Master Gordon. That's from the super chat, by the way. Roman Reigns coming out doing the typical conquering hero promo. He beat that evil heel Miz, yada, yada, yada. It's the same old thing we've seen time and time again. We saw it with John Cena for a decade. We saw it with Hulk Hogan. We saw it with Lex Luger. We saw it with Diesel. It's boring. It's really boring. And then you had Miztourage come out. And then you had Elias come out. Oh, Offman Rules just sent a $2 super chat donation. Awesome shirt, Aaron. Perfect day to wear it. Absolutely. Where is CM Punk when we need him? CM Punk to come save the day. I mean, CM Punk more or less called all this, that these shows would continue. The wheel would keep spinning without him around. Kayfabe Candy Ass is here. He said the "You Deserve a" chant had to be fictitious towards Roman. This crowd actually liked Roman. That's the problem. I mean, WWE was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I guess those southern towns, they like their superheroes. Master Gordon with another $2 donation. I have to be the last one to donate, and he leaves a little heart icon. Thank you for that, Master Gordon. I appreciate it. Very, very, very grateful to have the fan support from you guys. I did not like the whole concept of Roman Reigns. I mean, Roman Reigns and Elias, technically, very good match. I'll give them that. However, I did not believe for a second, a split second, that we were going to see a title change. I figured there was no chance whatsoever of Elias winning the title. So I was bored. Now, the fans in Knoxville, Tennessee, they bought into the near falls. So more power to WWE. WWE can still convince fans that Roman Reigns might lose a match, which I guess is a testament to Elias, maybe, that Elias is a convincing enough heel. I'm not sure. Maybe these fans just have not watched that much wrestling. That actually might be the case right there. But I was bored. Even though the match was technically good, I was bored. I was falling asleep. I did like Elias's song this week only because we had the Miztourage, we had Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel playing on harmonica with him. I thought that was awesome. That was a fun moment. And the crowd actually started chanting, "We want Roman." I think the segment dragged on too long on purpose so the fans would start chanting for Roman Reigns, and it worked. So more power to WWE. Good for them. But yeah, I was bored with all the Roman Reigns stuff. ZRJ Rose says, "Aaron, don't you wish there were bigger promotions to talk about? It looks like there will never be a true alternative to WWE." Yeah, that's really unfortunate. Now, there is some news. Apparently, the Young Bucks and is it Kenny Omega? I'm not sure, but apparently the group of them, I think it's Cody Rhodes. It's Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. They're going to try and fill up a 10,000 seat arena in 2018, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. Let me go ahead and, it's Cody, not Cody Rhodes, whatever. Let me talk more about Raw. Yeah, let's talk about Matt Hardy. Everyone wants to know what I think about Matt Hardy. I enjoyed that segment. So we finally, after all this time, seem to have a real direction regarding a potential Matt Hardy broken character in WWE. Matt Hardy lost on Raw tonight, and after the match, he started doing the delete. And the crowd was into it a little bit, but, some people are blaming that on Knoxville. It could just be that, like most people, the fans in Knoxville were not watching TNA, so they don't really get what the whole delete thing is. TJS says Michael Cole called it a Matt Hardy breakdown. I really didn't have a problem with that like some people did. I saw some people criticizing Michael Cole for that. I actually liked it. It's a logical way for Matt Hardy to become broken. He's having a mental breakdown. It makes sense to me. I didn't really see the problem with Cole saying that. I know some people did not like it. The crowd was terrible, just as terrible as Corpus Christi, says Steve-O. I actually thought they were a little bit louder. I mean, they were cheering for Roman. But yeah, not one of the better Raw crowds. Corpus Christi still... Corpus Christi has the reputation for being the absolute worst crowd for WWE. Brother Nero says, "This Raw was so bad I wanted to cut myself." So what's going on with Asuka and Paige? A lot of you asking me here. Chris says maybe Asuka's joining Paige's faction. I will talk about the Bray Wyatt promo here in a second too. First, let's talk about Paige and her group. She's got her new faction now, and I already forgot the name of it. What is the name of the group? Somebody fill me in on here because I've already forgotten the name of her group. So maybe they need a change because I already forgot it. Absolution, that's it. Absolution, yeah. I'm not sure I like that name. The fact that I've already forgotten it and it happened about an hour ago, that's not a good sign. I did like the first segment with Paige and Absolution cutting the promos and beating down Sasha Banks. I did like that because it had a little bit of an NWO vibe to it. Paige even used the line, "You're either with us or against us." And by the way, that's NWO, not Nexus. Nexus copied NWO, guys. I know some of you out there saying, "Oh, Nexus did that." The NWO did it first. Maybe the Horsemen did it. I don't remember, but the NWO was the first group I can remember saying, "You're either with us or against us." So I kind of like that. I'd like for Paige's group to be like full-fledged, a female NWO. Maybe even have Paige be the leader of the SmackDown trio as well and have them take over both Raw and SmackDown at the same time. I think that would be really entertaining. I would definitely like that. Chris May said the Horsemen did it first. Did they actually say that line, "You're either with us or against us"? Did the Horsemen actually say that? That's my question. Yeah, female NWO would be a nice change of pace in my opinion, and that's what ZRJ says. No Triple H. Yeah, thankfully no Triple H. Now, before I get to the Wyatt promo, Michael Wayne, I will get to the Wyatt promo in a minute. So the second Paige segment was, so we had Asuka defeating Dana Brooke in about 5 seconds. By the way, Interstate Kyle, the sale's over, so yeah, everyone will have to pay full price if they want a NoDQ t-shirt or an Interstate Kyle t-shirt. But anyways, back to the show. Asuka came out. She beat Dana Brooke in about 5 seconds, tapped her out. and then you had Paige's group come out, and this is where it got really weird. So you had Paige's group come out, the Absolution, they surrounded the ring just like the first segment, and then Asuka was just standing there waiting for them to do something. Paige and her group, they were doing nothing. Paige's posse. I like Paige's posse better. That was the name I came up with. But of course they come up with some other random name. But anyways, Asuka was standing there. Paige and her ladies were standing there. And then Asuka just left. And that was the segment. So I guess it's supposed to be a tease that maybe Asuka's going to consider joining them. Maybe that's going to be the storyline moving forward. So, I mean, I guess I'm intrigued by it. I did find it to be a little bit bizarre, so we'll see what the follow-up is for this. SOS says the best NoDQ shirt is the Talk Wrestling one. It looks so good. Well, hopefully you bought one, and if you haven't, you should definitely pick up one over at ProWrestlingTees.com. By the way, if you guys missed out on the 20% off sale and you would still like to buy a shirt, use the code SAVE5. That'll get you at least 5% off on the t-shirt. SAVE5 over at ProWrestlingTees.com. So at the very least, you can get 5% off. Not quite as good as 20% off, but hey, it's something. Every dollar counts, right? We want a Rift Aronson shirt. Rift Aronson is dead. I keep trying to tell you guys that. He is gone. He is 6 feet under. He was cremated. Every way you dispose of a dead body was done to Rift Aronson. I mean, everything. He is gone. He's not coming back. Fastlane316 says, I wish I was in Paige's posse. Well, there you go. Nice little play on words there, Fastlane. I see what you did there. So, now let's talk about Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt had an interesting promo tonight where he was basically saying the fans were all dead and, you know, I guess trying to make some sort of social commentary about the fans doing what they're told to do by society and going out and spending money on Black Friday and that sort of thing. So, actually, I did like the promo, even though I feel like a lot of Bray's promos have been tedious. I thought this one was all right. I didn't really have an issue with that promo. I thought it was fairly good. But still, it feels like Bray Wyatt really has no overall direction. Cooksy97 says Samoa Joe was well booked tonight. So Samoa Joe picked up a win on Raw, and then he attacked Roman Reigns after Reigns won his match. Now, last week I proposed this idea. This is just a theory, my own personal theory, that it will be a triple threat match. And I said this last week. Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus The Miz when The Miz returns. And that's how you get the title off of Reigns. I mean, somebody said maybe they could do Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns title for title. They could do that, but I could see a scenario where Reigns is in a triple threat and he loses the title without having to take the fall and lose a match heading into WrestleMania. So maybe just maybe we will see that. Interstate Kyle, WWE is in Staples Center for the 4th time this year next week. That's overkill. Well, LA is one of WWE's major markets, and I guess WWE gets a good deal with Staples Center. And they've been packing the shows at Staples Center. The one I went to in February for Raw, that was almost completely full. I think maybe a little bit of the upper deck was empty, but for the most part, it was packed. And obviously, they sold out No Mercy, so WWE draws big, and they charge. Here's the thing, too, about Staples Center. WWE charges a lot of money for Staples Center tickets. Those tickets are some of the most expensive tickets for a WWE show in the entire country besides New York. So the fact that WWE can draw big crowds at Staples Center and charge that amount of money, it's very profitable for WWE. And like I said, they probably have a good working relationship with Staples Center, and that's why they run there a lot. Damn, Aaron, how are you not broke? Well, I'm not broke because I'm not going across the country for WWE shows. That's one thing. Somebody here asked me about going to Raw 25. I would love to, but I'm not going to travel across the country for something like that. It would be awesome, though. I mean, I am definitely jealous of the people that got tickets to the Manhattan Center portion of Raw 25. That would be something I would love to attend in person. Go to the Manhattan Center for the 25th anniversary of Raw. That would be a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm very, very envious of those people. WrestleMania for New Jersey. I mean, whatever. The crowd was so dead for that New Jersey WrestleMania. I don't know. I'm just waiting for WrestleMania to come back to the West Coast. I'd love to see WrestleMania at the new stadium, the Rams Stadium they're building. Yeah, if Raw 25 was in LA, I'd be going to that for sure. Oh, you didn't know? It's Rusev Day. So let's talk about... Yeah, I do live in Oregon, but I have family in Los Angeles, so I'm down there quite often. That's why it's pretty easy if I want to go to a WWE show. I have a place to stay. No, I'm not giving you a too sweet. Is Jason Jordan's career over? So it feels like there's a little bit more of a tease for Jason Jordan perhaps going heel. Oh, wait a minute. Braden says, will that long-haired guy that's at every pay-per-view be at Raw 25? If I had to make a bet, I would say yes. And CPL says, big fan, watching since episode 100. Thank you for that. I appreciate your viewership and tuning in. Please spread the word. Now, anyways, back to Raw and the final segment, which was Jason Jordan wanting a match. Jason Jordan wanting a match with Kane. And this was funny because Kane was in Knoxville, where he's running for mayor. And apparently there's a big event that he's doing afterwards to campaign for mayor of Knox County. I thought that Jason Jordan showed signs of a heel turn. He's starting to get really whiny. And it feels like that's the direction. I don't know for a fact that's the direction, but I think we all can be in agreement that Jordan desperately needs a heel turn. SOS has just shared this on Twitter. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Kyle, we'll get to some non-Raw topics here in a minute. Let me finish my thoughts here about the Jordan segment. So Jason Jordan got counted out basically in the match with Kane. He got beat up by Kane. And then Finn Balor, a.k.a. Fonz Balor, as Virtue. I think Virtue's in here. Virtue, you're here, right? I thought I saw you. I know Interstate Kyle was here. Aaron, you should do a podcast. This is a podcast. It's a video podcast. Virtue, yeah, he is here. When all else fails and the internet dislikes a wrestler, turn them heel, always the answer. Yeah, with Jason Jordan, I think there's more to explore with his character if he goes heel. But yeah, so we had Finn Balor, Fonz Balor come out. They had a match, and then Kane got DQ'd. He beat up Finn Balor again. And then this led to Braun Strowman coming out, and Braun Strowman got his revenge from last week. He grabbed the chair, he jammed it into Kane's throat. Kane was gasping for air, and Strowman did the big power slam onto the steel steps. Where was Triple H? Triple H, I'm guessing, was having a good time with his wife. I mean, that's what I would do if I was Triple H, quite frankly. But yeah, Strowman came out, beat up Kane, and that was the end of Raw. So maybe next week or 2 weeks, I'm not sure when, but we'll get the Kane versus Braun Strowman match, and that will be the end of it for Kane, is my guess. Strowman will win decisively. Maybe they'll save it for the Royal Rumble. I mean, maybe Kane's run will go into January, and they'll do that match at the Rumble, Kane versus Strowman, and then save Strowman versus Triple H for WrestleMania. That could be the direction that we're looking at. And Jordan versus Angle at the Rumble. I could see that as a possibility. I don't know if WWE is going to pull the trigger on a Jason Jordan heel turn this quickly. It should be more of a slow build and not do it suddenly. Jeremiah says you should do an audio podcast. Why? This is working out perfect, actually. Well, not perfect. Nothing's perfect except for Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect. But the YouTube channel is doing well. The live videos are doing well. And I feel like doing audio is a downgrade. You know, we were doing audio stuff 15 years ago on NoDQ.com. You know, we're trying to move forward with the future, and it's all about video. Everyone has high-speed internet now. People can watch the video content. So I'm definitely a fan of doing video in in comparison to doing audio content. Do you see Kurt Angle winning the Royal Rumble? No, I do not see that happening. Is Matt Hardy now broken? He's not broken yet, but he's getting there. Not quite there, but we definitely saw the teases on this week's Raw. Michael Wayne says, I'm WrestleMania for LA 2021 and WrestleMania for Philly 2019. From what I've heard, it's either going to be Philly or New Jersey. Those seem to be the top two contenders right now. James Allen says, what was the point mentioning Dean on his honeymoon? I guess just to explain him not being on television. Funny they did not mention Renee Young being on honeymoon with Dean Ambrose, but, you know, whatever. I guess, weren't they already acknowledged as a couple on television? I could have sworn that already happened, but I don't know. I'm already forgetting stuff that happened a year ago. That's what happens when you turn 35. You start to forget things that happened a year ago. Pretty sad. NoDQ Virtue says, I thought Sheamus was on a honeymoon. Cole really screwed it up. Was he? I mean, I haven't been paying attention to social media. Oh, apparently Seth did mention Renee. So yeah, I'm forgetting what people said 2 hours ago. That's how old I'm getting. Or maybe Raw's just such a bad show. It's hard to remember things that happened 2 hours ago. Interstate Kyle says, I feel bad for the guy who always brings the Vancouver for WrestleMania sign. I admire that guy's passion. It doesn't seem like it's ever going to happen, but that guy always brings that sign every WrestleMania. He travels all over the United States, hoping one day WWE will go to his neck of the woods in Vancouver, British Columbia, and it never happens. But you have to admire the guy's passion. I would love it because, you know, I'm in Portland, Oregon, which is only about, I want to say, 6 hours from Vancouver. So that's definitely workable. I can drive for that. I'd have to get my passport renewed, but I would definitely be down for WrestleMania in Vancouver or Seattle. Portland's not going to happen because they don't have the NFL stadium. Yes, I've been to Vancouver. Vancouver is a great city. Victoria is a great city. Kyle says it's 5 hours. Well, maybe the way you drive, Kyle, going 90 miles an hour when it's 55, yeah, maybe you can hit it in 5 hours. Mike Palmer, are you going to Raw next week in LA? No, I am not. I just got back from LA, and I like a break from the heat. You know, it was like 90 degrees in LA last week, and I am going back for the Christmas week. So I'm taking a little break from being in LA. I'm not going to take another trip down there for Raw. I went down for No Mercy, and that's about as much WWE that I'm going to watch in person for the rest of the year. Tony H says, is there snow in Portland yet? Thankfully, no. It feels like this is going to be more of a mild winter than last year, which I'm really hoping it will be milder than last year. Last year was pretty bad. I almost got into a car accident today watching NoDQ. Well, don't do that. Don't watch NoDQ and drive. Pull over, go to a restaurant, and watch NoDQ. Don't watch it on your phone while you're driving. Don't do that. I do not endorse that idea. Travis W says, why don't they do shows in Vegas? They do a decent amount of shows in Vegas, and I do think WrestleMania will be in Las Vegas once Vegas gets their stadium. It's the Raiders, right? I'm not a football guy, so I might be wrong here. I think it's the Raiders that went from Oakland to Las Vegas, and they're building a new stadium there too. Yeah, Vegas is the Raiders. So I think once that stadium is done, Las Vegas will get a WrestleMania for sure. We haven't had WrestleMania in Las Vegas since 9. And this would be a big stadium. Las Vegas, huge tourist city. I think it's going to happen pretty soon. Next 4 or 5 years. Same thing with LA being in WrestleMania. Looking at some of the other comments here. Just trying to... oh no, here we go. What team did LT Lawrence Taylor play for? He played for the New York Giants. I almost forgot. I almost blew it. Man, that's bad. That is really bad. So Starrcade. People asking me for my thoughts on Starrcade. Jeff is here. Holy crap. Good old JM is here. Jeff just said F the Raiders. Wow, I think this is the first time Jeff's ever been in the live chat. So we got Jeff, Kyle. We got a whole bunch of people in here. Nice. But anyways, Starcade. I wish it was on the network like everybody else. I think it would have been cool to see Starcade, but maybe WWE will release some of the footage down the line, even though most of the interesting stuff was already on social media, like the Goldust promo. Actually, not Goldust. He came out as the natural Dustin Rhodes with his own music. I like that. That's a nice touch, you know. Apparently, Michael Hayes came up with the whole concept and came up with all these different ideas for the show, which I think is really cool. As natural as can be. They call him the Natural. I'm not going to sing it because I don't want to lose all my viewers here. I like that. I liked Arn Anderson getting involved, and people seem to be really happy that AJ Styles retained the title, but keep in mind, folks, it was a house show. Doesn't really count. It's the pay-per-view match that counts. And my big fear right now, I'm scared. I'm really scared AJ's going to lose that title. People asking me about Ken Shamrock. Do you think Ken Shamrock will return? No, I don't think that's going to happen. Although, I have said this before, I would like to see some different people appear at Raw 25. I want to see people we haven't seen in 20 years. I don't want to see Jim Duggan and Arn Anderson and Sergeant Slaughter. I don't want to see those guys. WWE brings in those guys for every single Legend show. I want to see somebody like Ken Shamrock on Raw 25. Somebody we haven't seen in almost 20 years in WWE. Hell, James said it here, Ahmed Johnson. I'd love to see Ahmed Johnson come out. I want to see some legends we haven't seen on WWE television in a very long time. CM Punk ain't happening, Tony H. As much as I would love that, it ain't happening. Even Hogan, we've seen Hogan. I'd like to see Hogan back in WWE, but I want to see some old school names like Ken Shamrock, Val Venus, guys that we haven't seen in a very long time on Raw 25. Change things up a bit. See some different people. I'd like to see Damian Demento on Raw 25. That would be fun. Bring back Damian Demento, that old school jobber from 1993. Gangrel would be a cool name, and he's still active on the indies. I love the idea of Gangrel, actually. Gangrel would be great. Jim Cornette would be fun. I would definitely be open for Jim Cornette. Perry Saturn would be another good one. Marty Jannetty, even though we have seen Marty Jannetty a bit over the years. Hardcore Holly would be a great choice. Okay, some of you guys are just trolling me here. Gilbert, nah, we saw Gilbert when Goldberg made his comeback. Yes, I'd like to see Doink. I like to see heel Doink on Raw 25, not this crap babyface Doink. Bring back the old heel Doink for Raw 25 and have him like squirt water in the face of some kid, like a Roman Reigns fan or something. That would be awesome. D'Lo Brown would be another great one. Maybe the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase's been on a lot of the Legend shows. Again, I want to see some different people. Bring out Steve Keirn as heel Doink. Yes, I know Matt Bourne's dead. Bring in Steve Keirn as heel Doink. Carlito. That would be cool. I would like to see that. Steve Blackman would be another one. You guys got some good ideas on here. Mean Street Posse, Grandmaster Sexay. All these guys would be... I just hope WWE goes all out. It's all about nostalgia. It's celebrating 25 years. So bring back a whole bunch of cool legends for this show. I wish for Raw 25 they'd also maybe do the old school Raw set again. You know, do the Raw is War set just to give it that retro feel. I mean, I always liked those shows where they had the retro sets. Those were always fun episodes of Raw. And I think WWE should do it every year. At least once a year. And they haven't done one in a while. I think the last one was, what, 2015 when Jake Roberts had the Snake and Dean Ambrose. Wait a minute. That would have been 2014 when the Shield was still together. Yeah, it was 2014. I think that was the last old school Raw. And that was a fun one. So I'd like to see WWE do some old school nostalgic stuff. Eric Bischoff, Howard Finkel, definitely, 100%, at least for the Manhattan Center portion. All right, guys, if you're going to start trolling, I think we're going to have to start blocking some people. So if you list a person who is not alive anymore, I am giving the moderators the power to put you in timeout. And that's your warning. So no more suggesting people that passed away. Trying to read through some serious comments here, so I would appreciate no more trolling. I am being a party pooper. Sorry, folks. Anyways, I am hoping Raw 25 will be a memorable show. Will Kane compete at WrestleMania 34? That I don't know, because it might be too close to his mayoral bid, and he's going to be a very busy man. I could see Royal Rumble being his send-off. Whenever they do Kane versus Strowman, I could see that being Kane's send-off. He has the match with Strowman, he loses, and that's the end of it. Anthony, so Raw is in Manhattan Center and one in Brooklyn at the same time. Yes, it's. I guess it's going to be going back and forth, like a simulcast. They'll have some matches at Manhattan Center. They'll have some matches in Brooklyn. That's my understanding. How about Too Cool for Raw 25? Yes, definitely. They should bring back Scott Steiner, says ZRJ Rowe. Yes, 100%. I would love that. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I would not get your hopes up on that one. Scott Steiner would be awesome, but I don't think he's going to be there. I'd love it if JR and the King commentated. Hooverman had a great suggestion here. Jim Ross and the King calling the action at the Manhattan Center. I like that. I'm all for that. JM says gotta go. Have business to discuss. Business, if you will. Jeff, I gotta make other phone calls, but maybe we can talk business soon. I'll let you know. What time is it right now? We've been going over 30 minutes. A couple more minutes here and we'll wrap this thing up. Any other things or topics you guys would like me to discuss before we wrap this up? Todd Pengill. Yes. I would love to see Todd Pengill. Definitely. Ivy would be a good one. Follow NoDQ DOTCO on Instagram. Excuse me. Man, I'm getting tired here. It's getting late. No Aaron Aguilera. No. Bad Tyler. Very bad Tyler. Thoughts on Batista's return from Interstate Kyle? If Batista wants to come back, I'm all for it. I would love me some heel Batista. I can always go for heel Batista. Batista versus Brock Lesnar. I think that's I'd rather see that than Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. If Batista comes back, do Batista versus Brock Lesnar. Bingo. I'd love to see that match for WrestleMania. With Batista being a heel and just talking major smack. Getting his spotlight, ripping into Paul Heyman. Batista as a heel versus a babyface Brock Lesnar. That is money. In my opinion, that is a money match. I would almost even consider buying a plane ticket and flying out for WrestleMania to see that. That is money, in my opinion. Heel Batista, he doesn't kiss babies. He doesn't hug the fat ladies. He's just heel Batista versus Brock Lesnar. I love it. Awesome match. Are you tired of Braun? No, I like Braun. It's just I'm not a big fan of this Braun Strowman versus Triple H storyline, and that match I'm not interested in on a personal level. I just don't want to see Triple H wrestle. I'm bored with it. Like Roman Reigns on Raw this week, it bores me. I've seen it too many times, and I want to see something different. Yeah, I'm tired of Roman Reigns. It's boring. It's the same old thing every week, and like I said, when he came out there on Raw this week, I thought it was like the most robotic, just reciting, making sure he doesn't forget his lines, just trying to remember his lines, and he just had the most robotic, generic delivery of all time. Not of all time, but it was pretty weak. I mean, At least John Cena has the passion and can cut amazing promos. But Roman Reigns, his delivery is just so bland. And I just couldn't get into it. It just feels very fake. Virtue's getting mad at me. You're jumping on the hater bandwagon. Ooh, he just called me... Well, I'm like just losing my words here. He's calling me bland. So now shots have been fired here at the NoDQ.com galaxy. Happy Rusev Day, Todd. Every day is Rusev Day. Tomorrow will be Rusev Day. Jermaine, I would love to have Russo on. The door is wide open. If Vince Russo wants to be part of the No D crew, I'm all for it. I'd love to have him on Pop or the No DQ panel or for predictions. I'm all for it. So if you guys want to tweet out to Vince Russo, the door is open for a NoDQ.com panel collaboration. I'm definitely for it. So yeah, Vince Russo, Virtue, me, Jeff Meacham, or David Payne. Let's make it happen. I'm definitely down for it. We could talk about WCW. We could talk about WWE. We could talk about TNA. Whatever Mr. Russo wants to discuss. I'd love to have Jim Cornette on, but I would absolutely want to have Jim Cornette and Vince Russo, but I know that's probably never going to happen. That would be like the biggest score of all time to have Jim Cornette and Vince Russo on No DQ. I don't think it's going to happen, but that would be something else. That would be amazing. Have you ever thought about starting a Patreon? No. I'm doing just fine with what I'm doing now. And go on NoDQ.com. That's the best way to support me if you enjoy the content. And you can also buy a t-shirt or leave a super chat donation. That's all you need to do. I don't need to do the Patreon. I don't need to e-beg. I've been doing this for almost 20 years and I've been successful at it. So I don't need it. But, you know, some people out there need it for whatever reason. You know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And to be fair, YouTube has been difficult to work with this year. And I know a lot of YouTubers have to look to alternatives. For me, it's bounced back a little bit. The live videos are actually helping. The live videos have actually helped subscriber counts with this channel. Subscribers have been going up. So, you know, this seems to be a popular format, doing the live videos. So that's why I've been doing them every week. Do I watch American Dad? No, I don't watch American Dad or Family Guy. I liked old school Simpsons, like 90s Simpsons. I still watch South Park, but nah, not Family Guy. Could never get into that show. But anyways, that's off topic here. Let's go ahead and wrap up this bad boy for tonight. It is almost 9 o'clock, so it's almost my bedtime here. Thank you guys for tuning in to No DQ Live. Much appreciated. I will be back tomorrow night to discuss SmackDown Live and any other topics you guys have from this past week. Anything you would like me to discuss, I will be back tomorrow night. Let me know what you think. Leave a comment. Happy Rusev Day, by the way. And I will see you guys tomorrow night for another edition of No DQ Live. Please spread the word, and I will see you then.